Good evening and welcome to Going for Two. I want you to concentrate on this hat that I'm wearing right here. I want you to think
It's
about
a
it
nice hat.
very deeply. Oh, we get some buzzing here. We got Bruce here. Hi, Bruce. We got a lot of background
Uh-oh.
going on with you. No way to cut that volume, huh?
I muted. Sorry, Bruce. I had to mute you because of the interference.
Can we get him on chat? Yeah. Live TV, everyone. Anyway, the whole idea behind the hat was take everything you hear about the NFL draft in the next week about as serious as this hat. I still think the Philip Rivers, not River, was something that happened when Ken Whisenant talked to like a beat writer and said, "Oh, I'd love to have Philip Rivers on the team," and somehow it's snowballed into something. And I don't blame the Titans for stoking the fire. And there's my cat, so we're just gonna have a whole
No, it's hard to
mania fun
blame.
right now.
No, it's hard to blame them. Absolutely, they've got an unsettled quarterback situation, and um, they're going to do whatever they can. Hopefully, do whatever they can to maximize the value of the number 2 overall selection, and so yeah, is there smoke or is there fire behind this smoke? Is it a smoke screen? Philip Rivers does not want to play in Los Angeles. There's every indication that the Chargers are not long for the San Diego area, and that they could move to LA and become one of those LA teams. So
That's what a combo there.
yeah,
Background
Bruce,
noise, and we can't hear him talk.
Bruce, we can't hear you, and there's
Oh,
there's a lot of background noise.
okay, he is wearing earbuds. That's a good start. Yeah. Technical issues. Generally speaking, we'll deal with this before the show, but of course, uh, it all came together at once, you know.
I'm gonna
Like,
un
like
I'm
a
gonna I'll unmute him, and we'll see. You may have to do it, Zach. I don't think that I can.
really.
Oh yeah, well, you just muted me.
Yeah. I don't think I have the power.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it there.
I don't know what's.
Yeah.
Bruce, we cannot hear you.
We're getting.
All we can hear is a lot of interference. I don't know. I mean, I think that Philip Rivers is. I think that he wants to be a Charger, a San Diego Charger, for the remainder of his career. He doesn't have a long-term contract. There are discussions ongoing about that contract, the long-term.
It's kind of like a baseball
Financial.
almost.
Yeah, the long-term financial implications of that. And so there are a lot of moving pieces to this story.
Yeah, I wonder if Bruce just needs to reconnect. Sometimes that helps. It's kind of like the plug-in, unplug fix, but yeah, it's just that so many rumors come around that the deal is imminent. It does have a lot to do. I mean, he's on the last year of his deal, and the Steelers just signed Ben Roethlisberger. Pretty much same situation, same number of years to an extension. So I'm sure Rivers is like, hey, I want to get this kind of money. I mean, when you're in your mid-30s and you've already made 9 figures, you're like, what else is there to play for? I mean, he
He's
has
going to
one
get
thing he
another
wants.
contract, whether it's from San Diego or another team.
Is that hear me
But that
now?
does,
Ooh, you
yes,
got it.
There you go.
perfect.
I changed. Okay, I had these other headphones. I thought they wouldn't have these big old things on. Look a little different, so rather than like.
You you look lovely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for
So
joining us.
well, thank you for having me. And I was going to say one thing you can say about San Diego. I got a friend, Dick Corey, who his father is a friend of mine. Is his father. He coached in the NFL for 35 years. Coached with Dick Vermeil and was in the Super Bowl. Harold Carmichael. I mean, way back when, knows Vince Lombardi. I mean, he was the original West Coast offense. Anyway, he was involved in it. He coached the USL football, won the championship. He won at USC with Jim McKay. Smith there, A.J. Smith for the Chargers was just a total, I don't want to say it on the air, but he was terrible.
He was an asshole. I'll say
He
it.
was.
We can
He
curse
wouldn't
here,
let,
yeah.
he wouldn't let anybody into practice or anything. And Dick's the nicest. Everybody loves Dick Corey. You talk to any NFL personalities and say, that in that area, Dick Corey, oh, he's such a great guy. One of those things. He doesn't burn bridges. Really nice guy. But A.J. Smith was just a total dick. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I'll never forget him trying to pimp the Titans over Michael Turner. I mean, he was really trying to pimp them, and that didn't work. So,
Yeah.
again, for me, it's not necessarily about Phillip Rivers. Obviously, Phillip Rivers is a guy who's done it in the league. He's had a lot of success, but the trade. All this is just two sides trying to leverage a new deal, in my opinion. So, and he doesn't want to go to L.A., and I don't necessarily understand that really, but okay, he doesn't want to be the face of a team, a franchise in Los Angeles. Money talks, as you know, Bruce, and I think that if they got the money right, that tune might change a little bit.
Well, LA's the biggest market with no team. I mean, they're the biggest market anywhere with no football team, none. So I don't understand that. Well, the Raiders, they move back and forth, and I never went to any Raider games down there. Apparently, it was worse than up here north because I live about 40 minutes from the Oakland Raider Stadium, and I used to go there when I was younger. When John Madden was coach. And it was a great, blue collar working team, and the guys were great. Everybody was fun barbecuing in the parking lots. And now you got to go there. I had a friend of mine that played for the New York Giants, Greg Camellas, that was a starting fullback for them for 3 years. And then went to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He was he negotiated. Really great guy. We went over and watched him play.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's really a nice guy, and he went to Stanford, matter of fact, over here and graduated. There we go. And majored in business and graduated on time.
There you go.
Smart kid. And so, but we went over there, and after the game, we were talking to him and telling him goodbye and everything. And the bus started leaving. The Raider fans started throwing batteries through the window. Things like that. So I think that's Rivers.
Yeah, they throw
to be like,
paint.
what kind of clientele is he going to get down there when they get to the stadium?
Yeah. We've had this discussion. How would the Raiders and the Chargers fan bases coexist? I had an opportunity. I don't know if you remember Charlie Garner, former University of Tennessee running back and
49er.
Oakland Raider running back.
49er.
Yeah, and yeah, right. And had an opportunity to talk to him on my radio show. It's probably been about a couple of months ago when all of this talk was going on, and he said that it just absolutely would not work. That those two fan bases would not coexist peacefully. There's a lot of animosity there.
Well, do the Jets and Giants fans like each other? I mean,
it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. There's some racial overtones to it, and it boils down to class overtones. There's really the two fan bases come from different backgrounds, and there's already been a lot of violence, and then you don't see that between Jets and Giants fans, that level of animosity.
Yeah, we kind of had that when there were 49ers Raiders game. I don't know if they actually played last year, but that's kind of, maybe it's a similar thing. But
So yeah.
that's crazy because, Chargers fans don't even go to the games, and Raiders fans probably shouldn't, but, what are you going to do? So, Bruce, how about give us like an intro? Like we know you as the mock draft master, but there's more to you than that. Although it looks like you just disappeared. Hope you're still there.
Uh-oh.
Dang, it is all working out. So
I know, it was going so well.
and he disappeared into the black hole. The Raiders fans claimed another.
We'll get Bruce back in here.
I don't even know. What his team fan
He
running
sounded
base.
lovely too.
Gosh.
There he comes.
I see him. Is he there?
It takes a little while for that little hookup to occur. So, would you be happy? The other thing is, and for what it's worth, winning cures a lot of things, as everybody knows. But for a long, long time, Titans fans have hated Phillip Rivers, and but again, if he wins games for them, I think that that would go away.
I can shock you by doing a baseball comparison.
Okay.
The White Sox used to hate A.J. Pierzynski because he was the catcher for the Minnesota Twins, and they were rivals, and no one liked Pierzynski except if he was your teammate. And then the White Sox picked him up, and all of a sudden, he was the scrappy guy on your team, and they liked him. So I can see it changing. The Raiders fans just have so much history of success. I don't think it's going to matter. But, yeah, the weird – there's never going to be a franchise like them. Like they were in Oakland, then they were in L.A., and then they were in Oakland again. They're really going to go to L.A. again?
Mm-hmm.
I know it seems inevitable.
It's like the Rams. I mean, it's really sort of kind of like the Rams.
Yeah, I don't – that's odd. I see he dropped off. So, dang. Well, I was going to start talking about these mocks, but we,
What are you drinking, Zach? We should introduce our beer.
There we go.
Let me introduce my beer real quick. I have the Grizz game on. I'm a little bit different tonight. I have the house to myself. Woo! Party!
Exactly.
So I'm sitting here on the couch. I have my lovely, sweet puppy dog beside of me, and I am drinking. I've got the Grizz game on in front of me. I am drinking a Memphis beer. You can't see because this light is less than optimal, but it says
kind of blinding.
But it says "Gotta get up to get down," and it's in a pink can, which I thought Zach would like because he likes girly beers.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
it tastes good.
But it's a chocolate milk it's a coffee. It's a coffee milk stout, and it's very good, quite tasty.
Wow. Yeah, I got back. We were over at my wife's parents' house today, and got back, made them dinner, and did some stuff. And jetted back over here, so I haven't had a chance. Ran in here real quick, got everything loaded up.
Yeah, you can run and get a beer if you want. We'll carry on and let you come back in.
No, I'm good right now. All right. Yeah. What are you drinking, Zach?
Drinking the Old Brown Dog Ale. This is from Smutty Nose in New Hampshire. Yeah. This I've had their winter ale and this one, and I hear they have another like aged brown ale that's quite good. But this is one of my go-tos, I'm not drinking the Goza. By the way, the Goza is the I was calling it Goze, but it's Goza, like Ghostbusters. Those are the beers that I wrote about that are my beers of the week. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, well, Brian and I collaborate on some beer. We both brew beer. Ooh. I brew. Yeah. So. Yeah,
it's a very common these days. It seems like it's a lot easier to do, and you get a lot better results, and apparently it's fairly cheap to do too.
Yeah, mine are high alcohol content.
See, this will mess my hair up. Oh, too bad. Oh, itchy and it's hot. and I got all these lights on.
Yeah, you're bright. Sharona and I are kind of got like that filtered light around us,
Yeah.
a soft light around us.
Well, I
Yeah,
had
I'm
this
shiny.
light on. I've got a lamp beside of me, but it was creating a huge glare right here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and then the one behind me was creating a glare, so I've got this one on over here.
Oh, oh yeah. I caught the show when you had Brian on. He's a
Oh, yeah?
yeah. I like Brian a lot. I've known him
Yeah.
for quite some time. Yeah, good dude. Yeah.
We have awesome guests on, and we're
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
to have you.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that, and thank you very much for drafting in my mock drafts.
Well, I was just getting ready to say thank you for letting me participate in all of that. It's been a lot of fun, and I feel like I've learned a lot.
Oh, you know what? That's the best tool in the world. And I've talked to some people. Do you want to draft? They go, oh no, I kind of get bored with it. I'll tell you what. When you first start, even if you don't know the rookies, and just jump into it and just kind of go feel your way through it. And some of the rookie drafts, only one thing you get to know their names, and pretty soon you get familiar with them and start picking up on them and know where people are drafting them, and then start looking into it. And I've had to jump into it because with DFW, the site I write for, Dynasty Football Warehouse. We just did a podcast, and I had to squeeze. I did 25 rankings, the top IDP rankings, the rookies, and end up squeezing 12 of them in 17 seconds. It was like, if you read it, it's like Evelyn Wood. My wife said Evelyn Wood speed reading, and I'm just going through go rapid fire and taking them off. But you really do learn a lot by mock drafting and where people are. Yeah.
You do, and you learn about the size of the class, and participating with the same participants, you do kind of learn a little bit about them, and so yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You learn with Sharona, you don't know what to expect. She'll
Never
do
know what to
anything crazy. But Bruce, can we get a quick intro? Like, tell us about your other writing and how you got started in the whole fantasy biz, and where are you located and all that good stuff.
Well, first of all, I'm located in Tracy, California, which is 45 minutes east of San Francisco, starting just over the Altamont Pass from Walnut Creek and Concord and that area. We live on a ranch out here. We had a dairy farm for 25 years across the street, 148 acres. We live on 157. We're on right now. Now we have pasture with beef cows around it, and so kind of like a rancher out here hanging out. Yeah, and
cool.
Do that. I started in playing fantasy football in 2000. Also, let's see, I always played football my whole life. Defensive player, linebacker, played all the positions. Scholarship to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, 1970 when I went there. So.
Right when the merger happened.
What's that?
That was right when the merger was happening in the NFL.
Yeah. And then 2000, I started playing fantasy football. One of my son-in-laws got me involved, and I played just friends and like that. And I started listening to talk shows, and I started listening to Greg Kellogg. Matter of fact, I started listening to him first, and then Jim Day, and then Everett was on with them. And I started listening back and forth. And Greg Kellogg, a guy tanked the team and traded his guys because they didn't do it. So Greg Kellogg in the chat room said, "Do you want to take over a team as IDP first time?" And so I started playing IDP in, was it 2006 or 7 right there, and started playing, and then started listening to Joe on IDP Report. Loved the defensive side because I didn't know anything about it, and learned how I could be on the waiver wire and have a team that sucks but pick up all these defensive players, and actually did pretty well and made the playoffs. I had the worst team and ended up making the playoffs that year in the team. So love the defensive players and doing that.
Yeah, I love IDP too.
Yeah,
IDP is so much fun.
Yeah, and then Joe Everett, you guys know him? He does Draft Scouts and then also Draft Bible.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he has his own.
Oh,
site.
NFL Draft Bible. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah. Well, he goes to all the combines and then goes to the Senior Bowls and everything, and writes articles and stuff for him. So anyway, actually, he asked if I want to be on the show. I was in the chat room, so they had two guys, and so then we did that show for 4 years, and then he got busy doing some other stuff, so disbanded. And I kind of blogged and wrote some stuff and my own, and then I started writing for let's see, I'm trying to think what the site was. Anyway, last year I started writing for Dynasty Football Warehouse, and I was doing waiver wires,
Okay.
IDP waiver wires, and that's that's my forte is really waiver wires. I love waiver wires and picking guys up ahead of time, people, and taking a chance on them and doing that. So then this year they want to know if I want to do some rookie rankings and defensive rankings, and so we're doing that, and there we are. And Jim Day, you know who Jim Day is?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Fantasy Taz?
Yes, Tazzy Taz. Well, I'm really good friends with him, and so he had all the draft masters, and this year he wasn't going to do them, so I said, can I start taking them over? And I never thought that I'd kick out this many. Right now I'm in like 14 of them, doing 14 of them, and I've done to this date right now been on 96 of them so far this year. So
Yeah, I was wondering if you had to
Very
offer him
good.
like a bribe or a tribute to do that, because I know it's been a few years that he did
Yeah.
those, and
No, he passed the torch on.
it's kind of blowing up. Well, it was
Yeah.
blowing up my my email for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
I did like 3 of them, and I was like, okay, I need a break.
Well, you gotta see my email coming through, because I get a response from anytime somebody picks one thing or another. But I just go, don't look at half of them. Things are going by, and managing them is pretty strange. I can see what Jim goes through. It's like everybody has different things, and sometimes people miss their pick and they want another guy to pick, which I don't have a problem with. These are just mock drafts. They want to do that, it's fine, in a timely manner, and then it's sometimes guys don't pick and auto pick, and then people have problems. So a number of different things, but mostly it's pretty smooth, and the guys do a good job. And like you guys out there, they really enjoy them and come back and want to do another. So
Yeah, it gets intimidating, especially early in the off season, because you don't really have a feel for how guys are ranked, and especially the rookies. But this is how you get your practice, and I think people go, "Wait, why are you doing mock drafts in April?" It's like, well, why not? What else are we gonna do?
yeah.
Not much happening football wise.
Well, I know. No, that's for sure.
I thought it'd be fun to share the draft that we all did together. This is Draft Master 12. Let me see if I can get this actually up on my screen.
Okay.
You can see this. So this is the draft that the 3 of us did.
Okay.
So I might just go over in like a high level, and it's like you've done so many drafts, I'm sure like I don't remember this one, but
No. Okay.
so you had the second pick in this draft. This is Fat Cat 52, everybody. So what made you think at the second pick Le'Veon Bell with all those pretty wide receivers sitting out there?
Well, okay. Everybody, we've went away from when I drafted years ago. Running back were the premium. I'd even stuck with Lawrence Maroney for the New England Patriots and hung on to that guy all the time and got burned by him. But anyway, running backs are always, to me, the way I feel about it, you got to have a couple. I'm not going like 3 or 4 running backs unless they're sitting there, and I'm not going to pass them up. Especially in a real league, because I can trade one later if somebody goes down. But I like to have, unless somebody's there, a wide receiver. There's so many wide receivers out there, let's put it the way, and very few stud running backs anymore. There's running backs by a committee and stuff like that. So I at least have to have 1, or if I can get 2, then I'm happy. And that's Le'Veon Bell to me is like the number 1 guy right now. Now Peterson's going to play, so he'll come back around, I'm sure, and do well. He's another one that is starting to pick up the draft, and ADP is starting to move on him. So I just have to have, because there's so many wide receivers out there that you can have, compared to running backs, limited amount of running backs.
I'm going to go ahead and just post. So now we're showing all the picks that you made. So yeah, would you have made it, because you made this pick before? I mean, we kind of knew there was a suspension, but now we know it's 3 games. Would that have changed your mind, knowing that he's out 3 of the 13 regular season weeks?
No, not whatsoever. I look at it this way: he's out 3. I can let by and win a few. And plus, look at it this way: I love to lose in the first 3 weeks in a real league, right? If you're going to lose, because then you get if you're on waiver. I like blind bids the best, actually, waiver wires. But if you're in a waiver wire system where the worst team gets the number one pick. Hey, you can't ask for anything else and pick up all be the first pick on a waiver wire in the first few rounds. So
that's true. And one more aspect of these leagues. I mean, we don't really play anything out, but these are kind of like best ball leagues. So
that's correct. That's
correct. That your guys you draft late are going to score for you. You're not getting a 0 for the Le'Veon Bell spot. Somebody else is coming in there for you.
Exactly right. What they do is the computer figures out your best combination players compared to what the lineup, what you can do with the flex, and what happens, it gives you a score each week, and you'll see where you ended up each week with everybody else. And a lot of these too, I don't draft like that. Some people are drafting like that to try to get the best score. I use these as a learning tool myself more so, like you guys were saying, to learn where these players are going, where they're falling, where I can get them, and pick them like I was picking a team. So on that part.
And you excited about Matt Forte in the 3rd round there?
Oh, I like Matt Forte. Matt Forte, I think, is this year with Marshall gone. I think he's going to be even more of a key asset to the Bears. And I forgot how many. Last year he came back and caught a ton of passes out of the backfield. So he's got that in the PPR leagues especially.
He's a PPR dream.
Oh man, he is. Yeah. So yeah. I think I rank him right up there. And people are scared of Adrian Foster too. It's like,
oh yeah, I think I got him in the 4th round, but yeah. So when it comes to these leagues, because people don't play IDP a lot, people don't really understand. So do you have a particular strategy when to go? Because it looks like you grabbed your first guy in the 9th round. You grabbed Puzzlus, and we all know. I mean, for IDP people, linebackers are the running backs.
The gods.
They make the tackles, except for J.J. Watt in the 1st, which I don't know if I could do that. But he is way better than anybody else at that position. But what is your usual feel about taking IDPs?
Well, what I do, I was taught kind of, or when I draft with these guys. I've been in a lot of expert. I was in an expert league. Jim started a fantasy expert league with football guys. Gene Bramall, Jim. There was guys from. I'm trying to think of it. Draft Scout. Anyway, there's a bunch of different, all experts and everything, and I'm probably the weakest guy in there. I won it last 2 years in a row. And my thing is not so much just kind of see where things are falling, Get my first couple, I'll get offensive players first, a couple running backs, a couple good wide receivers. I don't necessarily draft a quarterback unless he's laying there. Like I drafted, I'm trying to think of the quarterback name, from Seattle, who just gapped out.
Colin Kaepernick.
No, from Seattle.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
last year he was dirt cheap. Yeah, he was
but he was
10th
laying
round,
there.
8th round. You get
laying
him.
there and around, and I grabbed him because you couldn't pass him up. So that's value. I look for values. I go through, even though I need something, I see what I need in that round. In the first, like you said, the first 4 or 5 rounds, I'm going for a couple running backs, a couple wide receivers. Tight end, just like J.J. Watt. If you don't have Gronkowski, J.J. Watt and Gronkowski are about the two. That's it, and the rest of the group is so.
Yeah, I see that. And you took Vernon Davis in the 26th round and Michael Rivera.
Yeah.
He Tennessee guy, I think.
Yeah.
From
Rivera,
Oakland,
no, Rivera
27.
is Oakland, the rookie last year.
I didn't know if he went.
Former University of Tennessee volunteer.
Oh.
Rocky Top.
He's a volunteer.
Yeah. I
Lives
love
in
that kid.
Missouri. Sorry.
Zach forgets, but McCall Rivera was having an outstanding rookie year before the Tennessee Titans came to town and knocked him out of the game. And Michael Griffin, I believe, got suspended over it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He made a tackle? Oh, good for him.
Well,
only 20 more years at that extension. That was yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Didn't know we held onto that front office after that. Not that we have any issues, but
such a hater, Zach.
So basically, what I do is, like I said, you get those first few guys in, and I'll keep. Like I always call it like the Braveheart, in Braveheart, where they've got the horses and they run down, the guy goes hold, and don't shoot yet, or don't. It keeps telling them to hold, to wait till the guys get to a certain point, Well, that's the way I do. And then when something slips or somebody grabs an IDP guy and they start to go, then I'll reach in and grab a couple guys and stabilize that part, like my linebackers, like you said that. And I grabbed the IR squad. I grabbed Mayo and Paz and the punishing pull lock.
You like these Tennessee players, I see.
What's that?
Gerard Mayo, former Tennessee Volunteer.
I do love them.
You're my new favorite person.
They're wonderful, and so that I just grabbed a couple linebackers there because they were there, and so went for it. Greg Hardy now is not such a good pick now, so much since he got 10 games. But hey, now I in the later drafts I won't do the pick him up anymore, till later in the draft. But hey, we didn't know at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the one who took Adrian Peterson the second round last year, so that was rough.
Oh,
I just like seeing different draft strategies. So I mean, you waited till the 26th and 27th round to take your tight ends, and then you took Joe Flacco in the 14th and Colin Kaepernick in the 17th as your quarterback. So you got later guys, but you can wait on quarterback unless you're Sharona. So yeah.
Well, like I said,
we've had this talk.
I know, isn't it great?
But everybody's got their own view on the grab. I'll grab a quarterback, or if a guy's sitting there at the right time, I'll grab one in the 8th or 9th round if the right guy is there and still wait there. Otherwise, there's a big group of them. They're together, 10 of them that are pretty much not gonna vary too much. After that elite group that Sharona got one of them from. So that type of stuff. So I'm not a first round quarterback grabbing. Or second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round.
Sharona's elite, and we'll show Sharona's picks here just, as a comparison
I'm not always either, Bruce. There are maybe 2 quarterbacks that I would do that. I did it 2 years ago. I don't always do it again. It just depends on. But I did it with Peyton Manning. I drafted him in the first round during his record-setting year. The reason why I did it is I was playing in a 16-team league, and I wasn't gonna get stuck with a crappy quarterback. I just wasn't. And so I went ahead and bit the bullet. I gambled, and I took Peyton Manning, and I rode his wonderful, beautiful cannon arm all the way to the championship.
You know what? A 16-team league. I don't discredit you a bit. I would too, because you have to have a quarterback. Otherwise, I've done that before when I first started drafting bigger than 12 leagues and 14. Never did a 16. I've done one 16, but a few 14s, and even in a 14. Next thing you know,
you better grab one.
Grab one, yeah. I started drafting in this one league, and it was a 2-quarterback league, and I forgot it was a 2-quarterback league. And all of a sudden I go, why are these quarterbacks going so fast, so quick?
Yeah, right.
And all of a sudden I realized I almost got caught with my hand in the cookie jar, but I ended up salvaging it all right. But yeah, you're right. 16-team league, you better get a good quarterback.
Yeah,
there ain't gonna be enough left.
And Bruce is your team. You didn't actually take any rookies, and I see that Sharona, as I'm showing her pick, she picked the 3 kind of late round, flyer type.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see it. You'll have to tell me what my picks are.
Oh, you're not seeing the share?
I don't have my glasses on. You're trying to make me.
Okay, you got Aaron Rodgers, number 1.
That's right. The controversial Aaron Rodgers.
Lynch. Yeah, and then you got Lynch, number 2. Matthews is number 3. Trey Mason, 4. Macklin, 5.
Sort of SEC. Latavius Murray. That's a pick, big time.
The kid can run. We'll see what he can do if Oakland doesn't.
I don't get Peterson. Trent Richardson, after all, SEC right there. So
Trent Richardson. That guy's always been a bust, man. I never liked the guy.
And Devontae Adams.
Before Latavius Murray got hurt last year, he looked awesome.
Yeah, I agree, totally.
I finally seeing him actually going.
Derek McFadden's gone,
yes.
And I know that they brought in Trent Richardson, and they're saying the right things. But everybody with half a brain knows it's going to be Murray.
Exactly. I mean that Richardson's just there to fill a spot, roster spot.
And if you look at the the date column, we drafted in March, so a lot of these guys are going to jump up and down their value. Devontae Adams was probably highly rated because Randall Cobb, we didn't know he was going back to the Packers. Jerick McKinnon's going to be a super deal as a 9th round pick if Adrian Peterson goes somewhere else.
Oh,
If he
definitely.
doesn't, what are you going to do? A guy like Denard Robinson could be awesome, and if the Jaguars draft a running back early, then you're like, oops, Cordarrelle Patterson. Well, you got to be loyal to your school, right?
You know what? I can't quit you, Cordarrelle. I can't quit you.
Or Delaney in the 17th round. Come on, I mean, boom. That's just that's dynamite.
I can't quit
I
you.
thought I got great value, and we can debate the Aaron Rodgers in the first round thing. Again, I'm not going to always do that, but I got stuck with Colin Kaepernick in one of my leagues last year.
That was rough.
Couldn't get in a league that I couldn't get any better. There was no. Is Ryan Fitzpatrick better than Colin Kaepernick? You're not going to go with the Ryan, and so again, it just depends where I'm picking, and I was comfortable. I feel comfortable pulling the trigger on an Aaron Rodgers or an Andrew Luck. Outside that, no, I'm not going to do it.
Well, that's the only 2 quarterbacks I do. Luck and Rodgers are the only 2 quarterbacks I'd ever, certain situations do that. And Luck's like a Gronkowski, J.J. Watt, same type of thing. If you figure how many more points he's going to score you than somebody else that you're drafting at that point, that's what I look at. Points that the guy scores where I'm drafting at that time. And I might go suddenly go like 4 running backs. Some of these times I've got Adrian Peters, Adrian Foster, Marshawn Lynch. I've got like 3 or 4 running backs, and I don't know what everybody else is thinking across the thing. And most of the time, even in dynasties, what I'm doing, I want to win today. I did a couple of dynasty league startups last year. I want to win today, and I'll sprinkle in some rookies through the like you did. But this year, now I'm trading in these leagues for draft picks, rookie draft picks. So now I can scoop up the rookies that are out there, because this year it's going to be wide receivers. It's going to be really nice, and a deep running back field too, and the rookies. So guys that might show up, somebody gets hurt type thing. So.
Yeah, we talked about this last night, Bruce. You probably will agree with. I had my NFL Females show, and we had Liz Loza on, the fantasy football girl, and we were talking about, you never know with these dynasty startup leagues if they're going to last or not. You have to go with the win now mode, because it just seems like, especially here lately, they fold after a year.
Yeah. Then you're stuck with all the.
And so they're in the win never mode. So that's different.
Yeah.
And it was good for me. I won mine last year.
With Tom Brady.
With Tom Brady, who I think I drafted Tom Brady in like the 8th or 9th round, and everybody was like, Tom Brady, he's dumb. And granted, he didn't start out very well at all.
Yeah.
But they deflated those balls, and he came back, and I did all right.
Yeah, really. Tom Brady ended up doing very well. Yeah, and this year you can get him cheap too. You can get those guys that are they're gonna perform well for you every year. In the middle of the pack.
You'll appreciate this too, Bruce. I handcuffed Tom Brady. Well, this was not so good. I had Jake Locker, but my third quarterback, this was a very, very, very deep league too. My third quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo, and he played that one game and was looking good, and I was like, woo-hoo, I'm doing all right.
Game. That week, people were saying they were dumping Tom Brady to pick up Blake Bortles. And wow, did that not look good. But I mean, the way they got pounded by the Chiefs was just like, huh?
Yeah.
It was fun because it was a really good game for Travis Kelce. So we'll see.
In my league too, when I run some leagues, there's like the waiver wires. If somebody drops somebody, you can pick them up instantly, type thing. Like I hate when the guys go, "Oh, no, you got to wait till next week," and they all get thrown in the pool, so everybody has a chance. Because some people aren't on looking. I said, "Well, that sounds like a personal problem to me." Because if you want to win, then that's what you do. So guys that are out there playing so-so, I mean, so we have to put up with that. I put my money in, so he's got his money in there. So let's all, that's why blind bids are the best one. You can spend all your money in one time, or you can wait and do it right. And usually I spend a pretty good chunk of it in the first 5 or 6 games to get the
Yeah,
So,
that's a situation I want to like sell my local league in. And the quick, well, why don't you explain just the blind bidding, just so people get a feel for what that is? Because most
well,
people know it, but some might not.
well, what you do is you have, depending on your money, what values are. It doesn't matter if you have $100, if you have $300 or $1,000. It all, is all the same, because then you $2 and $100, you get monies. They call it monies. You get to spend the whole year on waiver wires. Otherwise, you have to wait till it processes, and then you can go pick people up. You're not locked out totally. After everybody else gets done, the next day, then you can go and pick up off the waiver wires. So what it is you could be the first place team, and you could say for example, a lot of them are $300 what they'll start with, and you have that $300 to spend the whole year on waivers, and you have to spend at least $1 to pick, so to make a pick, because you can't get in on and spend nothing on the blind bid, so you have to have some kind of monetary money to be able to pick that right that time. So if you like the guy and you're the first place team and you want to spend $100 on that guy, you put it out there. Nobody knows what you're bidding. You don't know what they're bidding or who they're bidding on, and you put the bids out, and whoever has the highest bid, it gets that player. So I like that a lot, because it makes people, even the last place teams, do well. And some of them that have, what they do is they'll give you, okay, if you win, you get say $10. If you lose, you get $25. So it kind of replenishes that guy that's not winning, to try to make them spend more money, type thing, to get them going, to influence them. So on that part, but the blind bids they're fair to everybody. Pretty much everybody's got a shot, because you get those guys that don't hit the waiver wires at all, or if they are, they get the guys that they don't do anything with them, one thing or another. You have those guys in team that kind of like they're playing so fancy football in leagues and everything, not really getting into it.
You have to know when to make the big hit, like if you got the big waiver guy, but then maybe next week and someone comes up who's even bigger. I don't know. Odell Beckham was on everybody's waiver wire till week 5 last year, so that's a.
I actually drafted him as
part.
a rookie, and got him later rounds because he was hurt, and had him on my bench till he started to play, and about 3
Yeah,
games.
Tom Coughlin, he was talking so badly about him being hurt that nobody was.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know. I always remember. I don't remember the people saying Odell Beckham was going to make it. I heard the people saying, "Oh, he only scored 2 touchdowns in the SEC or something." And I don't know. I always hear the opposite.
Yeah.
Like everybody's trying to say, Sharona will know that everybody said that Bishop Sankey was going to suck last year, and I don't remember hearing that as a universal thing. But hey, I was looking at the DFW. They had the ADP out there, and Bishop Sankey. I think this is startup, so it's Dynasty. Bishop Sankey was number 100, and Tom Brady was 101. So if I was Tom Brady, I'd be a little upset about that. Bishop Sankey's ranked ahead of me.
Yeah. But these ADPs too are going to change here in the next.
Yeah.
They're changing fast now. If you notice, when the first draft I did, I was picking guys up by the handfuls. Quality players, and then as the draft goes, people start paying attention, and then the ADP, they start moving up the ADP rankings, and they're not sitting there where they were before. And so, and your value picks, your biggest value picks in any draft, you win a lot of leagues, is those last late rounds. Like my tight ends I did, Rivera, and I think Vernon Davis, a different coach, I think I'm not a big Kaepernick hater. My son-in-law hates Kaepernick. He was great. He loved him when he was playing well, but I think Kaepernick can play well, and Warner worked with him. We'll see how it works out. We're naturally we're hearing good news and everything, but I think he does have it in him to do something. He's got the talent, and he does have an arm. We know that. At least he can throw the ball. Not like a lot of guys can't even get down the field. So I think they're going to use Davis this year, and they got Torrey Smith, and I think they're going to draft a wide receiver. I really think they're going to draft a defensive player. Probably Eric Armstead, the first round, if he's sitting there, or not Shane Ray, but what's the guy's just draft Danny Shelton, if he's there.
Yes, I couldn't think of his name either. Yes.
Yeah, Danny Shelton, somebody hold that center down. so they can play that 3, you know, up there 3-4. So once they get somebody that can anchor that middle, you know, then they'll be do well. I mean, they still got some talent. I mean, I wasn't very happy letting Gore, but who's ever happy letting guys go like that? You know, they've been on the team and done so well. You know,
You'll appreciate this. You'll appreciate this, Bruce. You were talking about late round steals or whatever. In the league that I was telling you guys about that I won with Tom Brady as my quarterback, this was a really, really, really deep league. I think we had 20 players, maybe 25 players on our roster, and I selected one Brandon LaFell with one of my later round flyers. And boy, did he come through for me, especially later on once Tom Brady started playing better. And I mean, when you score like that, it's not only is it a great feeling, but you know you're able to, you know, kind of get a leg up on everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. Are you guys in a lot of IDP leagues or just a few?
I'm in one.
I had 2 last year.
But I'm doing basically 2 leagues. One, like you, we started in 2000, and it's a local keeper league, but we have team defense. And I'm in a dynasty league. It's been together since 2006, and that's IDP. So I like it. Some people just can't handle the whole concept of IDPs, and it's like, in fantasy baseball, do people do team pitchers? No. So why is that such a big deal? But it's a barrier that people just can't get through, and they just want guys who score touchdowns.
Well,
or J.J. Watt.
But you can actually have, and one thing about IDP, you can have a not so good offensive team, you know, an average, pretty good to score well, but comes there and puts some decent numbers up every week, you know, steady, and has some killer stud IDP players and actually be on top, you know. You don't have to have the all stud offensive players, which I like about it. There's much more to choose from, and you're not just stuck with the one guy happens to make the trade with some guy, and he's got all the running back or great wide receivers, and you're sitting there like, you know, you can never make any progress on teams like that. So against teams like that. So I think that's why IDP, especially IDP, each week it opens up, and there's all these new studs that are coming up, and defensive backs. I call them the redheaded kid of the family, you know, that nobody loves them, you know, like that type of stuff. And the defensive backs, you know, these guys end up scoring 20 or 30 points for you, you know, in a game.
Well, that's the thing that's kind of counterintuitive about IDP is you usually, if you're going for like a cornerback, you might not want the cornerback who's the shutdown guy because he might not. Like some games, Richard Sherman
you want the
doesn't
guy
get any
who's
targets.
getting burned on the you know.
You want the guy who's getting thrown, right? He's making the tackles, or he's getting the fumbles, or getting interceptions. Yeah. So you want that like cornerback too. A lot of times, like rookie cornerbacks are really big time.
That's
I think in the 2 leagues I did, I drafted like round 25 or later on defensive backs. I just was like, I'm going to grab 1 or 2 defensive ends. I mean, here's the hard part about the defensive side. Like, defensive ends and linebackers, now people are just saying edge players, so it's not like one thing people like about baseball, fantasy baseball, is you can actually be eligible in multiple positions, but in most leagues, you're either a linebacker or you're a defensive end, and that really impacts a guy's value.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Mario Williams one year, and they did a 3-4, and he was a linebacker, and all of a sudden, his value went to practically nothing.
Yeah, that's
you don't get the tackles.
The league I played in, or the league I've played in for 2 or 3 years, the one that I said that I rode Peyton Manning's arm in, we list, and it's an all-female league, we list guys like Mario Williams, DE/LB.
Oh, yeah, you can do that, yeah.
It would make more sense if leagues could do that.
Yeah.
You know what, in my fantasy league, I don't know if you can reclassify them, if you can do it yourself in a league or not. You might be able to. You can always ask my fantasy league, you can always ask them to make something up if you could do it, and sometimes they'll go, okay, that's cool. They're pretty good about that, but you know what? This year everybody's going to 3-4s, and so you got all the edge rushers, you know, that are linebackers, but really they're defensive ends. So that's defensive ends are like, like you said, there's like 2 or 3 of them out there, 5 of them. There's J.J. Watt and Emerson and I think Jared Allen's going to have a great year. For some reason, I always have these things like, oh, I feel this thing, whatever. Jared Allen, the way he started playing at the end of the year, he's going to come back and he's going to have one more great year before he checks out. So, but
I think Jarrell Casey's going to be a good play this year.
oh, I think so too. I think so too. But defensive back, you were right. You're totally right, Zach. Those rookie defensive backs, some of the ones now get to Trey Wayne. Well, Trey Wayne is like, I caught when I did the show. Trey Wayne's when I watched all the films on him. It's like I was watching, Nicolas Cage Snake Eyes, the movie Snake Eyes. You ever heard about the movie? Anyway, Trey Wayne, he's a cornerback, and he runs with the guy the whole way down the field. You watch him; he's not even looking at the ball, and all of a sudden the receiver starts to react. He watches his eyes and is in this guy's head and running the route, mirrors him, runs the same route he does, and knows the guy and turns and makes the play. And right there with his hand and grabs the ball. Only had 2 touchdowns in 2 years scored against him. And Landry Collins at safety is another one. Some of these kids, but some of these other defensive backs that get stuck, you watch on the waiver wires, pick these kids up because they're going to put them out there and they're going to have to live and burn, live by the fire, die by the fire. So the quarterbacks are going to throw them, like you guys were saying, and so they're going to score some points because they're going to get some tackles and get balls thrown in.
Yeah, in my dynasty league, we get to keep like 40 players, and I didn't even keep any defensive backs. Yeah. So I just I'm going to grab guys off the waiver wire. That's the thing. Like in a super deep, because I'm in a league that has 53 roster spots. So offensive guys are almost like the bones picked clean, but defensive guys, you can find them. They're just a little bit harder.
Yeah,
they're available out there. So Bruce, what are you going to be doing draft weekend? What do you got planned?
I am going to be totally glued to the draft, barbecuing a little bit, getting things going, having a couple beers, sitting down. Probably DFW Dan, one of the owners, he's going to actually be blogging out from that. I'll also be listening to a buddy of mine. You guys know Shane P. Hallam?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, this is this time of year. He's loving this.
Oh, God. Shane's a great guy. Shane and I connected when he first started coming on the scene, and I loved the guy when he was right. The kid I go kid because a lot of the guys that I play with, I don't know, some of the guys that I'm doing all these drafts, I'll be 63 in May. So I go like some of these guys, I got socks older than these guys I'm doing the draft with, type thing, Bunch of kids out there doing it, but I love the sport. I feel like a kid playing again, reliving. And I think IDP gets you into that if you've ever played football. Yeah. I was getting kind of bored with football and fantasy football. When I started doing IDP, I felt more alive and watching the game a little bit more, what was really going on and stuff with the football. So I'm going to be watching it and blogging that and listen to Shane. He's going to also be doing each pick. He'll be giving me a blow-by-blow of the player. And I just can't wait to see where these players are going to go. Everybody has all these ideas where they're going to go. It's going to be it's a great draft class this year, I think, between the offensive side and defensive side. It's one of the best ones in a long time. Quality players around, except for tight ends, a few tight ends here and there, some good offensive lines, but some good offensive running backs and wide receivers, a couple quarterbacks, and the rest of the quarterbacks we'll wait and see what happens on that, part. But I always watch the draft every year.
Do you have any special beers for the draft weekend?
Well, I'll be lining up with my. I've got. I'll probably be drinking a couple of my Fat Cat, my Belgium, and then I'll be drinking my also my double IPA, Imperial IPA, which is like a 12%. It's a champagne, a bottle of beer. I put a little bit more carbonation in it. It kind of fizzes up on you like that. But I drink those. I'm a big Sierra Nevada fan. It's a local brewery right here, from Chico that started now. Now they're in North Carolina.
It's very good.
Yeah, they're in North Carolina too. They started a brand new brewery in North Carolina, in Mills, North Carolina, Mills River, North Carolina. 190 acres. They built a brewery on back there.
Yeah, I know there's New Belgium. They're out of Colorado. They're starting a brewery in Asheville. So
yeah,
it seems like breweries are actually popping up all over the country, which is good. Beer is good, makes you happy.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Stones fan. We had a place down at the beach in San Diego, and in San Diego County there was 110 microbreweries down there. San Diego County. You could throw a rock 20 minutes from you and hit about 5 of them for where we lived, and stuff. They're everywhere. And stuff. So where do you live, Zach?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, you're in
There's a
Atlanta.
pretty good beer selection here.
Yeah,
In Nashville, they had some good stuff.
we went on a trip this year, first time my wife and I really doing something ourselves, and usually we have two daughters, one in New York and one in Los Angeles, and we have 4 grandchildren, so we visited them. We're semi-retired, so we can do what we want pretty much, and so, but we flew into Atlanta and got a car there, and then drove to Savannah, Georgia, and I love Savannah. We stayed right on the river there, and the cotton sale in there, and old historic town in there, beautiful town. Then went to North Carolina, and we were gone for a month, and traveled, ended up in New Orleans finally. But I was trying to think of the 624. Is that the Atlanta beer?
There's a Sweetwater 420. That's
420. That's the one I drank. 420 Sweetwater. Yeah, like that.
That's our big. I mean, every brewery is high on IPAs, and I'm not that big. I'm more the brown ale, darker beer type. But yeah, it's a pretty good. And Savannah's a great town. It's just odd because it's, they actually have old buildings, which we don't have in the South because most, Atlanta burned itself during the Civil War, and we like to tear down our buildings every 30 years or so. Just to see the Braves, for an example. And the Falcons, they got the Georgia Dome. It's 25 years old. It's old. Let's get a new building. So, yeah. That's where we spend all our money here in Georgia. But Savannah's great because an underrated part of Savannah is they have a bunch of Irish pubs. So, and you can carry Go Cups. Go Cups, that's America right there.
Yeah, Vegas and Savannah. Yeah.
Because I was in New Orleans and you get a beer and they give you a plastic cup. You're like, what's that for? Oh, to take to go. I'm like, okay, now I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah, when New Orleans we were there, every place has the doubles during happy hour time, and you got this cup, and that's not going to fit in there, and you get the two beers for the price of one, and you drink them just as fast as the one. So, so
you guys are totally doing New Orleans wrong. It's hurricanes. You get hurricanes.
I did drink hurricanes.
Those are strong, yeah.
Yeah. New Orleans is definitely a great town. We had a great time there. Yeah, we walked the whole city around the Bourbon Street area and down there and Burroughs and stuff. It was really nice. Really enjoyed it.
It's lovely, being in an IDP league, right? So, Bruce, tell everybody where they can find you. Where you're writing and your Twitter account and podcast and all that stuff.
I'm at FatCat52 on Twitter, and I write right now. I'm doing IDP waivers and rankings. Rookies and veteran players for Dynasty Football Warehouse, and a great group of guys. We have a great bunch of content coming out this year. They just got out their Dynasty Football 2015 NFL Rookie Fantasy Football Guide. They just kicked that out, and they did a really nice job. And they tell you about each player, what round they think he should go in roughly, and they'll be updating them also too, because naturally all rookies are where are they going to end up? There's some guys are going to, no matter where they're going to end up, a handful of them, they're going to play well and do well, no matter where they're. But if the right guy that gets in the right scheme can grow and flower out of that one, it changes completely. He might have been in the 5th round or 4th round, as we all know, some of these players, and end up being the top players rather than the first 2 rounds. So, also I do you guys are in. We're on 6 different mock drafts I got going. I had 3 and I had 4, and all of a sudden these guys go, I want to do all IDP. So I got all IDP 20 round, and then I got the all IDP 20 round big scoring league where the defensive end score 600 points. So there we go. Wow. So you can have J.J. Watt scored 637 on the format. So it's kind of fun because then you can actually draft some of the defensive ends and those guys, and you have to have a tackle and so on, defensive tackle and the cornerbacks things like that, and people are enjoying that and that part. So that's pretty much, yeah. You can catch my waiver wires as the league starts on Dynasty Football Warehouse.
So that's FATKAT52 on Twitter, and you should get into one of these mock drafts. You try it out, see what it's like. I know it's
a lot of
long.
fun.
The one I did was 30 rounds, which, yeah, it does get to be a bit of a slog. But to see what players are still available in the teens and the 20s, there's still some good stuff out there. So thanks, Bruce, for being on the show tonight. Sharona, hi. How are you? And what do you have going on? Do you like, this isn't your only show, right?
No, but it's obviously my favorite show, Zach.
Oh, well, yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. You lie so well. Anyway.
Well, where else do I get to talk football with guys like you and Bruce and drink beer?
Yeah, it's true. You can't drink beer when you do your show, like, in the morning, right?
I could if I wanted to. I don't. I opt for the tequila shot.
Yeah, well, different styles.
Gotta have priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the name of the other show you do?
I actually have 3 more shows.
Yeah, just
Right.
3.
I've got a podcast that's my own podcast that I host on Monday and Wednesday mornings. That is called Sharona Unfiltered, and it is very much unfiltered. We had a really good show this morning, and then on Fridays I have a show that I co-host with Vasti Hurt, who writes for Black Sports Online and also has her own website, Carolina Blitz. It's called Game Over with Vasti and Sharona. It's a nice show, if I do say so myself. And in addition to this one with Zach, I do a Tuesday night show for NFL Female that's called The Zone Blitz.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, it's
Yeah.
good to get women playing football and doing that, because there we go. There's a guy thing. Both my daughters play fantasy football.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
You should send them. I want to do an all-woman fantasy mock. Right now we've only got about 7 or 8 that are interested. We need at least 12. So if they have any interest, send them my way.
Okay. There's a couple of them mocking with and doing the mocks. There's 2 of them that do quite, not as much as a lot of the guys, but they're in, they're doing a couple all the time. So I can talk to them and say, let you know, and if they want to be in that one with all
that'd
women.
be perfect.
Okay, I can do that.
If I can get at least 12, I'll do it. But right now, like I said, I've only got like 7 or 8.
Okay.
I believe in you. I believe you can make it happen. And you can find me, Zach Law Online. I just did a Beer of the Week post on the amazing Goza special new type of, it's not a new type of beer. It's from the 1600s, but it's a type of beer that I just discovered, and it's quite tasty. And it's a rare beer in a can that I like, so I can have that when I go to the beach in a few weeks. And find me, Zach_Law on the Twitter to see what's happening, because I like to retweet all the cool people happening. So once again, thanks, Bruce, for being on the show. It was good to finally get in touch with you and see you in person. And Sharona, of course, thanks for not drinking me under the table.
Not tonight.
As we like to say at the end of the show, good night and kiss my grits.
Good night, all. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks,
Sure.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
All right.